İngilizce sınıfta Türkçe bilmeyen var. Ben öyle biliyorum. Şimdi kendi bilgisayarımdan bir AnyDesk'le bir bilgisayara bağlanacağım. Şu an ekranı görebiliyorsunuz değil mi arkadaşlar? AnyDesk ekranını. Bir saniye. Şu anda görebiliyorsunuz değil mi? Mouse gözükmüyor. Bir saniye. Ekranın gözüktüğünü düşünüyorum. Okay. I'll continue in English. Today we will make a TIA portal application for HMI, and we will use the CPU simulation of TIA portal. I'm starting with basically entering TIA portal. By the way, we are connected to another computer with AnyDesk. This computer has has TIA portal installed in it, and we are remotely connected to this computer. I will go full screen mode. Now I will create a new project in TIA portal, and I will basically call it Industrial Automation Systems Course 2024. Now, I don't bu arada arkadaşlar şu anda ben mesaj ekranını göremiyorum. Full ekranda olduğum için. Siz şu anda TIA Portal ekranını görüyor musunuz? Görüyorsanız lütfen bir kişi en azından bir ses açıp bir şey söylesin.
Görüyorum.
Tamam, teşekkürler. You are already familiar with this interface and you are actively using it. From configure a device, I will add a new device. I don't get into too much details about this interface. From controller part, I will add a S7 PLC. For the start, I will configure and program a basic application, a basic ladder logic application for our HMI. And we will try to visualize some details about this application. This application will basically be considered of some counters and timers. That's why I first need to add a CPU. From here, I will choose, let's choose this one. And I'm adding as it is. Yeah, TIA portal usually takes its time. Now we have our programming interface that we all already familiar with. From program blocks, I will add a new program. Can I get rid of these details? Now we will have a very basic application in ladder logic, and this application will set the basis of our HMI application. For start, I'm adding a start button here. And I'm defining it as a global memory. And I'm adding a output here, and I will call it LED1. And this will be our global output. Now I'm adding this LED1 to parallel to start button. Sorry. To make it toggle itself. And I'm adding a stop button here. And I will also configure the stop button as global memory. Now we have a very basic network one, and it's network two. I will trigger a counter with my LED1. Bir kişinin sesi geliyor, bir saniye. Bu 6 kişi var. Şu an iki sınıftan toplam 6 kişi varsa bu kaydı paylaşmayabiliriz yani. Hocalara söyleyeyim. Devam ediyorum. And I will add a counter here. I will also add a reset button for this counter. And I will call it as reset, counter reset. As PV, I'm choosing 5. And as the counted value, I'm defining a counter value tag. And I'm also defining a counter done tag. What is the problem here? Now we have our counter with the rising edge of the LED one. Actually, we are triggering the counter and it starts counting. And the counter value will be our actually integer value. This integer value is also important for our HMI application because it's a changeable value. It's a variant value. That's why we can create some animations and trends with this counter value. For more detail, I will also add a timer, a very basic timer. For the timer, I will use my start button. Now I'm adding basically a on. Okay. I want this timer to count to run for 5 seconds. And with the time value, I will also define a timer value. This will also be global memory. I will also define a timer done tag here. And this will global output. I'm deleting the network 4. Now I can start my simulation from the start simulation here. Okay. It's starting the simulation. Here is our simulation PLC. I think it has downloaded the program and I'm pressing run button of this CPU simulation. From here, I should be able to see the values. For example, if I modify this start button to 1, the LED 1 gets triggered and it has counted and our timer has run, but let's try again. We couldn't see the value. Yes, it is running now. I think everything is set for our application. Before we start, I will reset the stop button. I will also reset the stop button. I reset my counter by triggering the counter reset tag. And our timer is already resetted. Now I'm mostly ready for my HMI application. I go offline. From add new device, now I can add my HMI. I'm selecting HMI SI Plus for now. a comfort panel model, 7-inch, TP700, and this one is okay. After adding this device, a HMI device wizard panel shows up, and I can configure the initialization of my HMI. First of all, I need to connect my PLC to this device. And I'm basically selecting a PLC from here. The interface is Ethernet. Next, we have some initialization options. For example, my background color. Let's make my background color a little bit like, I don't know, blue or yellow. Yellow is bad. I think I don't want it to be white. Let's make it light blue. And from here, header settings, it shows the options. The header basically shows the screen title. Navigation field, we have options, date, time, and the logo. For example, let's remove the logo now for now. And header is actually the information panel of our screen. Let's continue with that. We have also alarm options, but we don't add any alarms. We can also add screens in HMI applications. We can define different screens. This is a default set feature for all HMI software. Root screen will be our start screen. Then we can add other screens like control panel, process panel, or information panel. But for now, we will start with root screen. But there is a configuration setting here in HMI device wizard for adding screen at start. And we also can configure the systematics of our screens, but we only defined the root screen for now, and we won't add any system buttons. And after our configurations finished in device wizard, we press finish. Now we have our HMI application here. And this is our root screen. You can see its name here. Make it bold. Let's make it bold and bigger. And let's make it more seeable color. And there's a message that welcomes us. And we have our message. Let's make it bigger again. Now this is my root screen. Let's make an application that have two screens. Our first screen, other than the root screen, will be the control panel that we trigger our buttons and see the applications. And let's have another screen called process panel that we basically put a trend there and monitor the changes of our data. For that, from the devices part, project tree, you can see our HMI device, and from screens you can see our root screen. I can add a new screen here. Screen one. Let's call it control panel. And let's add another one, and let's call it process panel. So we have three screens now, and the root screen is our start screen. You can see the little green arrow here that defines our first screen, our start screen. And you can see the others doesn't have that green arrow. And these panels are basically this root screen. Let's open control panel. You can see our control panel is empty for now, but we should change its name. And this is our root screen, right? And this is our control panel. And I want to it looks like I'm not able to change anything at the control panel. I don't know why. Okay. So for my control panel, I can add some informations, some buttons, some texts, and some elements from our toolbox panel. For example, I can add a new text now, and I can call this panel as I can add a label as control panel, and I'm changing its color and its size. So this is our control panel's label, and I also need to add this to my process panel. Why are the names the same? And for now, I will delete the process panel, and to control panel, I will add a new name. Now I can add a process panel. I hope the name of the control panel didn't change. Yeah, maybe we need to add this to here. Okay, now it is okay now. We have added our labels to our screens, but I also need to rename this as process panel. But the first thing we need to do is to being able to navigate ourselves between these panels. So now, if I start our HMI simulation, we see our root panel, but we are unable to navigate through other panels. So the first thing we need to do is to add some buttons that will help us to navigate through panels. So from elements part of the toolbox, I'm adding a box basically, and this will be our button, our navigation button, and I'm calling this control panel. Now I want to make this panel to take me to the control panel screen. I need to add a command and the event for this button. From properties part of this button, you can see we have different options, and the main properties are given in here as general appearance, fill pattern things. But the event that will allow us to navigate through panels is in events part. For all buttons and all toolbox elements we have in this HMI application, the events tag will allow us to program the element and make it will allow us to make the things we want. For example, in events part, we have a button. We have different options for this button. When the button is clicked, when the button is pressed, when the button is released. We all have different commands here. For example, if the button is clicked, I want to do some system functions, and we have a lot of options of system functions here. The thing I want to navigate through the screens, that's why I'm choosing the screen subsection, and here I'm programming this button as activate screen command. So under this activate screen command, I need to configure the screen name that I want to navigate through, and from here I can choose my screen, and I'm choosing the control panel option here, and now this button will navigate us to the control panel. So we have another screen also. That's why I'm adding another one, and this will be our process panel. And from properties of this button, from events also, I'm choosing just a different panel, which is the process panel when clicked. So these two buttons are enough for our root screen to navigate to the other panels. However, when we go these panels, we also need to turn back to root screen. That's why I will add these buttons to other panels also. I'm just copying them and adding them one by one to other panels. Now I'm adding them to control panel, but in the control panel section, we should be able to navigate through root panel and process panel. That's why I'm changing the first option button here. which was the root panel. I'm changing as the root panel. And I'm doing the same thing for process panel. But this time I need to change the process panel part to control panel. That's okay. Now we have our buttons for navigation set. I'm returning to root screen and I'm starting the simulation again. Let's see what happens now. We are in our root screen, and when I push the control panel button, it navigates me to the control panel. And when I'm in control panel, if I click on the process panel, it sends me to the process panel, and I can return to my root panel by just clicking a root panel button. And in the root panel, we have different options, different buttons here. We have a home button, which is doing nothing for now, and an alarm button that opens a page for our alarms, but we didn't configure any alarms. That's why here is empty. And we have a shutdown button, and if I click it, it just closes itself. Now we have our panels. Now we need to be able to trigger our buttons in the control panel. So from control panel, for now we have nothing, but we should be able to trigger our start stop buttons, counter reset buttons, and we should be able to see the results of them. For that, I'm adding another button here, and this will be our start button for our little application. From again its properties, I want to change its appearance, but I won't change its basic appearance. I will add an animation for it. For start, I want to define another command for this button. So we need to actually connect this start button to this HMI start button to our PLC program start button. So we need to actually connect these tags together. I want our start button to activate it when it's pressed, and it continues to get activated when the press continues. So from press part, I'm adding a function now. Under the function panel, we again have different options, but I want to choose a bit option. So we have a function here which is called set bit while k is pressed. I'm choosing this function for my application. Actually, it tells itself, it's setting a bit while the key is pressed. And I need to connect a tag for this function. The tag that I will connect to this button is our start button. So when let me show you again. From this configuration choosing panel, when I'm pressing the three dots here, it opens a panel that I see nothing. From the navigation parts of this panel, I can actually open my tree. And from PLC text, I can choose default tag tables. And in the right side, we have data. And if I click this left arrow, it will show my PLC text. We have our start button here. For this panels button, I'm choosing this tag. And I want to add the animation for this button. I don't want it to remain as gray as it is now. When it's clicked, I want it to change its color. To do that, from animations part, I will add the animation. We have our animation types. We have different options for animations, display, and movements. First of all, for the variant color of this button's appearance, I need to add this appearance animation. So I'm from appearance part, I'm clicking this add new animation to appearance section. And from here, I also need to connect a tag for it because it will take the information of tag and behave according to its value. So I'm choosing the start button here. Again, I want it to change its color whenever I press the button. That's why I'm choosing the start button tag. It will take its value. And from here, I can add my colors. We have two logical values for a button. When it is 0 and when it is 1. When it is 0, I want it to be red, for example, and when it is 1, I want it to be green. And I also I need to also add my stop button here. And from properties again, I need to change the event tag of this button. I'm just basically do everything again. From default tag table, from data, I'm choosing the stop button tag. And from animations, I will just change the appearance tag, and it will again be stop button. I also need to add the counter reset. The same things, I need to change the tag here. I'm coming here, and from navigation, I go through default tag table, and here I'm choosing counter reset. And from animations of it, I'm changing the appearance tag, which is counter reset. Now we have our input buttons, but we also need to see the outputs. That's why I'm adding a basic circle here. And we can add some appearance behaviors to this circle. From its properties, again, we can add appearance animations for this circle. And from appearance animations, I can define a tag, and I want it to be my LED tag. So this circle will act like our LED1 tag. And I'm adding an animation for colors. Whenever it is pushed, whenever it is untoggled, it will be gray. And whenever it's toggled, let's say it will be green. And I'm adding its name here again, LED. We have other output values. That's why I'm adding more buttons for them. This will our counter done, and this will our timer done. I'm arranging their positions. For counter done, I need to change my appearance tag. That's why I'm navigation through my text again, and I'm choosing counter done tag, and I'm not changing the appearance animations. And from timer done tag, I'm also again changing my tag from PLC tag default tag table. And from here, where is our timer done? Here. And we have our visuals, and let's start our animation. So we know at the start our tags are 0. That's why they started with the red color. So if I push the start button, you can see our LED tag has turned green. And if I push stop button, it is gray again. If I keep doing that, after somewhere the counter should be done. You can see now the counter is done. Its limit was 5 counts. And if I keep pushing the start button, after 5 seconds, the timer should be done. And you can see the timer is done now. If I stop pressing the start button, the timer done tag turns 0 again because our timer was on. And if I press the reset button here, the counter done should be gone because the reset button will turn the counted value of our counter to 0. And if I push our stop button, now the LED should be gray again. Now the basic application is done. I'm turning back to my root panel and turning off my HMI. Now I will add some other options here. For example, we have numerical values. We already know that we defined our counter and timer values. To be able to monitor them, now I want to add some numerical screens for them. Let's first one be our counter value. And let's second one be our timer value. Now I can change from properties for continue. Excuse me for a minute. We don't have any message, and it is just me, Erdem, and Yiğit. Okay.
Koymaz oğlum sana ya.
Sertaç, okulun bittikten sonra
Salih'in sesini duyduk galiba. Tamam, ben devam ediyorum.
Hocam kayda alınıyor diye muhtemelen o yüzden gelmiyor olabilirler. Yani. Ona
Ya
güvenip yani.
muhtemelen. Ama 2 sınıftan 3 kişi de biraz gerçekten az. Ama sorun değil. Now we are defining our numerical values for the numerical screens here. I again need to be able to show some values. Uh, And here is our animations. And we won't add any animation for this numerical screen because it has its process section. The process section automatically defined as the value that will show up here. So from process section, I'm adding our values. I'm adding counter value for our first part, and we have an integer here. It doesn't have any decimals, so we can remain it as it is. And for timer value, again, I'm going through the process section, and from here I'm adding timer value.
Hocam bir şey sorabilir miyim?
Tabii ki.
Bu counter'ı genelde ne için kullanıyoruz? Daha önce çok görmedim de. Yani
Counter bir olayı sayarken kullanıyor olabiliriz. Yani bir butona kaç kere basıldı, bir olay kaç kere gerçekleşti. Yani bildiğin sayıcı aslında.
ya butona basım sayısını mı sayıyor? Onun dışında
Şu anda yaptığımız uygulamada evet butona basıp LED'i yakma sayısını sayıyor.
tamam hocam.
Uygulamayı tekrar göstereyim şimdi. I'm adding some decimal places for our timer value. Our application was basically triggering a LED with our start button and turning it off with our stop button. Whenever the LED is triggered, it activates a counter, and the counter counts the rising edge of our LED. We have a counter reset button. It resets the counted value of our counter. And whenever the counter reaches its defined limit, the counter don't take get triggered. Here we have our counter value. It is the counted value of our counter. And at the same time, the start button triggers a timer. The timer has a limit of 5 seconds. The timer runs when the start button is 1. This means when the button is pressed. And whenever timer is done, here the timer don't take gets triggered, and we have defined our timer value as a timer value tag, as you can see here. In our HMI, we defined our start, stop, and reset buttons, and we have our outputs as LED. Here is our indicators: LED, counter done, and timer done. We also put our counter value and timer value here as our numerical values. Now, I also want to add some other indicators for our counter and timer values. And to do that, I will add some other animations. For example, we have a bar here. So we can make this bar change as our values. I will make it smaller. Like that. And I want to have 2 bars. The first bar will represent our counter value. Here, from general section, we can define the features of our bars. The maximum value of our counter is 5, as we defined as. We can also define some maximum and minimum text for our bar, but it is 5 constant for now. And we are again defining the process tag, and it will be the counter value tag. This is counter value bar. Let's do something like that. to have some space. And we have our timer value bar here. And I will define its maximum scale as, I guess I need to define it as 5,000 because our timer value was a timer data type. And whenever we change it to integer for these animations, it turns into milliseconds. That's why I'm changing its value to 5,000. And process tag, for process tag, I'm again choosing my timer value tag. Let's make it a little wider. That's okay. We can also define some other animations. I have already talked about them. For example, we can make a box move as our values change. For example, I want to make a movement animation for this box. From animations part, in our overview, we have movement animations. For example, I want this box to move horizontally. So I'm adding a horizontal movement. In the horizontal movement animation, we can define the range of our animation. I can extend this range. I can increase and decrease it whenever I want. Let's set it as like that. And I'm defining a horizontal movement tag for this movement. And let's define our counter value. So it automatically divides this range into the value that we write here. We know our counter value takes values between 0 and 5. That's why I'm choosing the range 0 from to 5. And I want to change the color of this box. And we have our button. We have our box. I want to add a name to it. But it looks like I'm not able to add constant name on it. Okay. And I'm adding another button, another box, actually not button this time. And I'm changing the horizontal animation that I defined earlier from counter value to timer value. From, as I told you earlier, I need to set this value to 5,000 because it's in milliseconds now. And I want to change the color of this box. And let's make it yellow this time, not yellow, orange. So we have our control panel. Let's see how it works. Whenever I press start button, the LED turns green. Our counter value is 1. The bar is, you can say, increased. If I keep pushing the start button, it doesn't now increasing the counter value, but I keep pressing this button. You can see our timer box and timer bar increases. And according to our horizontal animation, the orange box moves through our path. When the timer is done, here the LED also becomes green. So if I press stop button and stop, and make the counter goes up. When I make the counter done, our purple box is on the right side in the end of our range. And if I push the reset button, it resets both the bar and both the position of blue or purple box. And we can see here, if I keep pushing the start button, our numerical value also increases. And I'm turning back to root panel. I'm closing this HMI. Now I want to add a trend to my process panel. And I have opened my process panel now. Basically, from here in the controls part of our toolbox, we have trend view. And I can put a trend to our panel. Let's put them here to make it bigger. So we have our trend. Now we need to be able to add a changing value. From properties of our trend, in the property list, we have our trend part. We can define our signals to be plotted in this graph. We can add a trend one. We can add a trend from here, and its source, we need to define its source from source settings. For example, we can again choose our timer value, and we can decrease its cyclic value of plotting. And we can arrange the plot style. For example, we can set the color and line width like that, and we also are able to put some different signals to the left and right side of our trend. In the left side, there it will be our timer value, and on the right side, there will be our counter value. We are putting this timer value and counter value between these sides because their units are different. The timer value will take a value between 0 and 5,000 in milliseconds, and the counter value will take a value between 0 and 5 just. That's why we can't show them in the same scale, and we are putting the counter value to the right side. And I'm changing my counter value signal source to counter value, and I can the color of my line already changed to being red. Now I have set the signals and line properties of our trend, but I also need to configure my axis. For time axis, we can set our range. Let's make it 60 seconds for now. And our axis mode is time. We can change the axis mode to points and constant. And left value axis, I want to make all axes auto size, and I want to make them change automatically. I'm doing it for both of them. But you know, we need to be able to push our buttons to see them changing here. That's why I'm copying our buttons from control panel to here also. The features of our buttons are the same. Now, from root panel, let's start from the start. Let's start our simulation. So we are in the root panel. By passing the control panel, I can navigate myself through this page. Our LED is triggered. Now I'm resetting it. We know what we can do here. Let's show off a little. And from process panel, we can see our signals changing. We have a timer value on the left side and counter value on the right side. So if I push start button, you can see our counter value is now 1. And if I keep it counting, you can see it is 2 now. And at the same time, if I keep pressing on the start button, you can see our timer, which is the pink signal, changes. You can, for control applications, you can use this trend to see the control signal, system output, and other signals. It's a very useful trend. I'm turning back to my root panel. Yes, this is all for now. This was everything I want to show you. Teşekkürler arkadaşlar katıldığınız için. Benim anlatacaklarım bu kadardı.
Biz teşekkür ederiz hocam. Faydalıydı.
Umarım faydalı olmuştur. Kendiniz de YouTube'dan veya benzeri kaynaklardan çok basit şekilde öğrenebilirsiniz zaten. Görüşmek üzere. Size projenizde, ödev sınavlarda başarılar diliyorum.
Sağ olun hocam. Görüşürüz.